was so outdated and how Rachel Zegler disrespected the original, and a classic from Walt Disney, something that completely saved Disney and changed the company and changed animation in general.
She was supposed to be Disney's next fairy tale princess, but instead, she might have just set fire to a $200 million franchise with one tweet. What started as a dream role has spiraled into one of the biggest PR disasters Disney has faced in years, and the deeper you go, the messier it gets.
Oh wow, Snow White flopped. Who is surprised? You cast arguably the least genuine, most out of touch, and disliked person in her industry, and her industry is Hollywood.
When Disney cast Rachel Zegler as Snow White, the internet exploded. Not just because she was young, unknown, and relatively untested, but because she didn't fit the traditional image of the character. She's Latina, bold, and unapologetically political.
A big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her.
Yeah.
Weird.
Super weird.
So we didn't do that this time.
In early interviews, Zegler took shots at the original Snow White story, calling it weird, outdated, and not empowering for women. Some people loved her honesty. Others called it disrespectful, especially considering the legacy of the character she was stepping into. But the backlash was just warming up. The tweet heard round the world. Fast forward a few months, Disney has Zegler tweet a bubbly promotional message. Yay, Snow White, so excited to play her. Classic PR move. Harmless, right? Except within minutes, she follows it up with a bombshell tweet, and always remember, free Palestine. The timing, just weeks after the October 7th attacks. The reaction, immediate chaos. Zegler's co-star Gal Gadot, who's Israeli and served in the IDF, starts getting death threats. The studio panics. Internally, execs are freaking out. Millions poured into this film, and now they've got an actress caught in a geopolitical storm.
If there's one thing to be gleaned from this, it's actually the sheer quality of the negative reviews. So let me read you some quotes. It says, I paid nothing to watch the trailer, but I want my money.
Oh, that's nice.
Disney's quiet meltdown. Behind closed doors, it was a disaster. One of the film's producers was flown out just to meet Zegler in person and beg her to take down the tweet. Not to silence her beliefs, just to stop the bleeding. They tried everything. Polite requests, emotional appeals, even logic. You're building an audience. This isn't the time. She refused. After that, Disney brought in a special media consultant whose entire job was to follow Zegler around and make sure she didn't post anything else that could destroy the film. That's how bad it got. And that was before the rumors started leaking.
Excuse me, your curtain. Please allow me to help.
Help? From you?
I didn't mean to offend. I just thought you should know that
That I should know what? That some privileged white guy thinks his opinion matters? Get over your entitlement. I'm not some damsel in distress waiting for you to ride in on your high horse.
The Dava allegations stack up. Whispers from the set painted Zegler as difficult. Reports claim she didn't want to promote the film, that she rolled her eyes at traditional themes like romance, femininity, or even the idea of true love's kiss. At one point, she called the prince a stalker. To make things worse, she accused people from her previous film, allegedly white studio execs, of questioning whether she was really Latina. It started looking less like a confident actress and more like a PR liability. Then came the next controversy, and this time, it didn't even start with her. The Peter Dinklage effect.
I was a little taken back by the they were very proud to cast a Latino actress as Snow White.
Yeah.
But you're still telling the story of Snow White.
Snow White, yeah.
Seven Dwarfs.
Sure.
So take a step back and look at what you're doing there. It makes no sense to me. You're progressive in one way, but you're still making that fucking backward story of seven dwarves living in a cave. What the f*** are you doing, man?
Peter Dinklage, famous for Game of Thrones, suddenly slammed Disney for using dwarves in Snow White, calling it backward. Disney panicked again. They cut all the dwarves from the film and replaced them with CGI characters. The backlash? Huge. Little people in Hollywood accused Disney of stealing roles they'd normally rely on for work, and Dinklage got dragged for hypocrisy. He'd made millions playing a dwarf, and now he was pulling the ladder up behind him. Meanwhile, Snow White was becoming more infamous than iconic. $200 million. Vanishing fast, by this point, Snow White hadn't even hit theaters, but insiders were already sounding the alarm. Projections claimed the film could lose anywhere from $200 million to $400 million. Test screenings weren't promising. Public sentiment, even worse. And questions started swirling at the executive level. How did no one see this coming? Why wasn't there a vulnerability check? Why cast someone with such a volatile online history, then act shocked when she detonated the film's chances? Some said Disney was trying too hard to cater to Gen Z. Others blamed Hollywood groupthink. But one thing was clear. Rachel Zegler had become radioactive. But here's the twist. Not everyone thinks this is the end of her story. Some believe Zegler's real future isn't in Hollywood, but in politics. She's part of a generation raised to broadcast every thought online, to speak up no matter the consequences, to prioritize identity, values, and visibility, even if it costs them a career. And in certain circles, that's a feature, not a flaw. People have even speculated she could run for office one day, especially in a place like California, where progressive voices dominate. Could this all be part of a bigger pivot? Rachel Zegler was handed a once-in-a-lifetime role, a legacy character, a Hollywood spotlight, and in less than a year, she turned it into a cautionary tale. Whether it was defiance, narcissism, or just bad timing, she challenged the system and may have lost everything because of it. The Snow White reboot might still come out. But the fairy tale? That ended the moment she hit tweet. Share your thoughts in the comments. Also, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next video.